What's up? What's up? I see a message being held for review already. How y'all doing? Let me try to get this damn backlight together. See what I can do. All right, that's better. It's not as intense, but y'all can see me. Yeah, this camera sucks, but um, I'll order another camera soon. Um, I'm gonna jump right into these questions. First of all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for visiting my live. I appreciate y'all. I feel like I just needed to reach out and touch you guys and ladies, and just have a conversation. So I've been uploading a lot. Y'all might get tired of me, but everybody doesn't watch every video. So I'll continue to upload pretty much daily. If I don't go live, I'll try to do a quick car video. I know people despise car videos now simply because of a certain individual, has some issues who likes car videos. But just for anybody who might be watching this replay, bloggers on YouTube have been doing car videos since YouTube started in 2000. Busy people have shit to do, and or busy families who they don't want to wake up by doing videos and recording and talking loud as hell in their house. They always record in the car. That's just a thing that people do logistically to make sure they make time for the messages they want to give to people. So that's why I record in the car. I'm not going to stop simply because somebody pissed you off who also records in the car. 30, 40, 50% of YouTube records in the car. So anyway, let's dig into it. First of all, uh, thanks for joining me again. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Brooklyn. Hi, Amina. Hi. I'm gonna just stop there. We're gonna jump into these questions. Good evening. Brooklyn says, in the past, my ex used to push me away because I want to commit, or I want a commitment. He would give me a ring and propose, but not move forward. I thought he was a future faker, and I left him. I think if it didn't happen within the time frame that you thought was important, I understand that. Sometimes we get very tunnel vision though. So for me, obviously marriage is important, but for some people the commitment is important. And if you didn't get the commitment in the form of marriage, and that's the only commitment that you wanted, and that's the only commitment you cared for, then that makes complete sense. The only thing is sometimes we get tunnel vision on our timelines and our rigidity, and it can take away from our experience. But if he wasn't the right guy, if he wasn't giving you what you needed, and if you didn't feel secure in the relationship, you did what you had to do. So no harm, no foul. You'll move on, and I'm sure he will too. Shannon Ailes, first of all, thank you, Shannon. Love and respect for the super chat. Got that started early. She said, "Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. Sometimes it's hard actually being a person who just tries to operate with integrity in the absence of trying to be controversial and do things that get clicks that piss people off. It's easy to take the short road sometimes, but I just kind of like doing my own thing. And if that means I'm a lot less popular than other people because of it, then I'll just probably have to take that. But I don't want to be fake, and I don't want to be disingenuous or start shit for no reason or be going to war and having YouTube and social media fights with people just because it gets clicks. I've been invited to a few of those, and people make diss videos about me and shit like that. But I'm just not into it. Simply because it doesn't do anything for me or my base. I'm here to help people, and that's what I'm sticking to, is helping people genuinely, um, in the absence of pandering, of course. Somebody said, Naisha said, love and respect, Naisha. She said, the fact that I randomly click this gives me something to do while I wait on editing devices to charge. Hey, that's what's up. I don't care why you here as long as you here. Love and respect. Um, she, Somebody got their message held for review. I don't think that it should have been, but I'm gonna read it, and we're gonna find out together. Do men get turned off after receiving oral sex from a potential romantic interest? Not that I know of. Like if a man is considering a relationship with a woman and then she does that to him, will he change his mind? Will that make him change his mind? No, I'll show that. No, if a guy wants a relationship and that's the only thing that happens is she gratifies him with that, it won't change his intention. I think that what changes a man's intention is your vibe, is your energy being off. If you missed the video I put up about 2 days ago about your vibe, about your energy, maybe it was yesterday's video. I can't remember. I've been doing a lot of videos. But if you missed a video about what you bring to a date, what you bring to a potential romantic relationship, your vibe, your energy, that can make a man change his intention. A man can want a woman or want a girlfriend and meet you and think, oh, okay, this might be something, and get around you and you be such a downer potentially because you're, still mourning other relationships, or you're not trusting and you're still kind of scorned and you're not really dealing with those disappointments in a balanced way. A man can change what he wants from you. A man can have a change of heart based on your energy, based on your vibe, based on your feel, but he's not going to do it solely on you gratify him with sexuality. That's not normally how that works. So no, if a guy was going to like you, he's going to continue to like you. If he was moving away from liking you because of energetic reasons, then yes, he can have a change of heart, but it has nothing to do with the oral at that point. Um, Somebody said, first of all, hi, everybody who's joining us, who's jumping in. All right. Dima said, Kev, help. How do you know if someone is flirting? A dental hygienist asked for my age and what I was doing in my career. Also touched my shoulders. Are these signs? The first ones are just small talk, and professionals are used to trying to make sure that people are calm and people feel light. People go to the dentist office with a shit ton of anxiety, a lot of anxiety for people going to the dental office, and people get used to trying to soothe people with small talk. So by itself, him asking you your age or what you're doing in your career isn't anything. Or maybe I'm just oblivious, because everybody who's ever dug in my mouth with an Explorer or a Perio probe at a dentist office has asked me what I do for a living and my age and all of those things. It's just small talk for the most part. That's nothing notable. If he touched your shoulder in a particular fashion that was different than a professional would normally touch your shoulder, maybe that's something. But a lot of times people break the touch barrier again to create comfort and to create a sense of interpersonality and an interpersonal bond. It's not necessarily to flirt with you. So those by themselves aren't really enough. You're waiting for him to flirt. It sounds like you're interested in him. You'll probably have to be a lot more overt than normal, because if that's a professional and they're in their setting, they can get in a lot of trouble for running off patients trying to flirt with them or make them uncomfortable. So if you want that dental hygienist, if you're interested in them, you're going to have to actually make the first move, because they're at work and they're not really willing to risk it with a sexual harassment charge of a patient who gets offended at some stupid shit. So um, when you're going to the person's place of business, you probably want to make the first move, or at least make it obvious that you're looking for something different and a little bit less professional. Um, Somebody said, "Hey Kev, from California, love and respect California. I got a lot of support in California. If I ever do an event, it'll probably be in California. It'll be probably there first, because I got probably the most the biggest fan bases in California, the biggest viewership bases in California." So she said, "What to do if a man insults you? I am cutting him off. That's what you do. Uh, you've done it, and continue to keep him cut off. Don't try to bring a guy back after he insults you, especially if it's intentionally. If he's just talking down to you, not just like he does it unintentionally. He says something that you don't like and you feel insulted. That's one thing. But if he's just being overt and insulting you, then you just cut him off and you move on. You don't try to cut him off to teach him a lesson, because if he has to learn that lesson once, he'll have to learn it again. And a real man doesn't have to learn how to talk to a woman. He intrinsically knows to a degree. He might not learn how to talk to an individual woman or how best to approach her in certain situations, but he'll give her basic respect. And if he lacks basic respect, then cutting him off is the best thing you can do. And don't do it temporarily, do it permanently. Um, all right, wait. Love and respect, Vivan. Thank you for the cash app. Thank you for, I said the cash app. Thank you for the $2 super chat. YouTube, for whatever reason, doesn't let that pop up at the top of the screen, but I appreciate your $2 super chat and your smiley face fox or kitten, whatever that creature is that you sent. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Vivan. Let me see. Dima said he complimented me, but he doesn't know my name. Help. Well, you're gonna have to make him know your name by standing out. You can't just be another beautiful girl that comes and sits in the seat and gives him no signals. Again, he's at work. He has too much to lose, and dental hygienists work very hard to get to the positions they're in. It's a very complicated and competitive field. They graduate so many people a year. I would definitely, if I was you, or if I was someone trying to get the attention of any medical professional, you have to make the first transition into something less professional than this person cleaning your teeth or whatever they're doing. Because if not, they're not going to bite on it. They have too much to lose. They have a career they're trying to build, and it's not worth trying to get some girl's number and then her getting mad and calling the dental staff office manager and or anything like that. So if you like that guy, if you think he's handsome, just say, hey, listen, I know this might not be the most appropriate setting, but I think you're handsome. And then don't do anything from there. Don't kiss his ass. Don't ask him anything. Just let him know that you've noticed him in a way that's different than the way you're supposed to be communicating with each other. That gives him permission, if he wants to do everything else. The worst thing a woman can do is pursue a guy, but sometimes the best thing a woman can do is just make it obvious that he's available or she's available to be pursued, or she's open to a man pursuing her. So I've been called handsome, or a woman will make the first move by letting me know that she's available to my energy, but that doesn't mean that all of a sudden she's going to start kissing my ass. She's going to start chasing me around. She's going to start, calling me and texting me. She doesn't do anything after that. If a woman compliments me, at least when I was single, if a woman complimented me, I didn't assume, oh, okay, I got this in the bag because she complimented me. What I did was I assumed, okay, I have a chance here to pursue her, and that's what she's inviting me to do. And that doesn't mean, and a couple of times, it definitely didn't mean that she was still on, she was like on me any harder than a normal woman, because I lost a few of those opportunities after a woman approached me. So like I've made every mistake that, a lot of us are talking about in this dating advice field. But I can tell you that it doesn't necessarily mean a woman is on a guy's nuts and you're going to lose all your leverage or power by letting a guy know that you've noticed him in a certain way. As long as you don't do anything after that, no ass kissing, no asking for his number, don't try to approach him like a gentleman. Just tell him, hey, I think you're really handsome. And if he knows what to do with that, then he'll ask you for some more questions. And that's how you do that. And let him pursue you from there. Do absolutely nothing after that until you get to know him. Bree C said, hey, Kev. Hey, what's up? What's up? Yana, hi, Kev. Hi. Somebody said, I met a guy from Canada. He says he wants to move in with me in LA. Nope. Uh, we're meeting in July, but he still put single on his Facebook status. You don't know that man enough to be making plans for him to move in. Spend some time around that person in person. Don't just assume because you're having great conversations or great text messages that when you get in person, there's going to be the same feel, or that he's going to be the same person he's presented. Um, I would never make plans to live with someone that I've never really been around. All you know is what he's told you about himself and what he wants you to know. So it's not a smart idea to make plans to move and change your living situation or buy an apartment or do anything that you're going to do, especially in LA, as expensive as it is. And don't let that motherfucker come here and then live off of you because you're in love. Like you be doing too much at that point. So really just figure out who he is. Have a couple visits, maybe a week here, maybe 2 weeks here. Spend some time with each other. Figure out if he is who he says he is, and it feels like it's supposed to feel. And of course, he's put single as his Facebook status. He's never seen you apparently, um, and maybe he has. Maybe I'm drawing a context that was just not there. But it sounds like you haven't really met him or spent a lot of time with him, and you're just excited about the prospect. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you didn't say yes or no to that. You didn't give that information. Um, Somebody said, I want to ask a question when I can. Kanisha Renee, if you had a question right there, you would have had that question. But if you're looking for a more personal question, a long form question, you can go to girltalkwithguys.com and you can get a long form question answered on girltalkwithguys.com. Um, Somebody said, where's Kev? Okay, so these must be the questions that were popping up while people were waiting. Kev, do we just post our questions here, or is there a list? Nope, you just post them here, Breezy. Just post them here. I'm trying to grab as many questions as I can for the time I'm on here. I'll probably be on here for a couple hours. Honestly, I normally do 3 hours, but I don't think I got three in me tonight. But I'll try to give as much as I can. Um, Somebody said, if I lost hope of this person being the right one, should I cut him off cold turkey? Uh, I don't see why not. As long as you tell him that you're cutting him off and that he just doesn't, get ghosted. Sometimes you don't have to wean yourself off of somebody, and you don't have to let everybody down softly or easily. If you've lost hope in that person and their ability to change, evolve, to grow, or to just be more compatible with you, then you don't have to stay with them for an extra couple of weeks or an extra 3 weeks or a couple of months. Like, you don't have to give a 60-day notice. If you're done, you're done. So yeah, cut them off cold turkey. Just let them know it's, hey, I think I'm done with this, and I appreciate the time you've given me, but we're just not compatible. This hasn't turned into the type of relationship I thought it would be. So I got to go my own way, and I hope you go your own way. And good luck. And that's as much as you can do, but that's all you owe a person. You do not owe a person your life, and you do not owe a person an extra 2 weeks, 2 days, or 2 hours if you're done with them. Um, you just owe them enough respect to let them know that that's what's happening. Somebody said, I don't know why my phone is so low. My notifications, I barely hear. Maria Campbell, thank you for your $3 super chat. I don't know why YouTube didn't put it up there, but I appreciate it. Pretty girl just sent it to me. So anybody that send me even a $1 super chat or a $2 super chat or a $3 super chat, Pretty girl usually makes sure I see them if I don't see them on the screen. Um, Thank you for Donna GTV. She said, "Hey Kev, what's the best way to get back on the dating scene in a new city? I'm open to online dating, but would rather meet a person organically. The best way to get on the dating scene in a new city, especially if you're in a city that's big enough, right? But the 13 bigger cities in America, right? If you're in a major city, um, in size range from Columbus on up to New York City. The best way to do that is to join special interest groups in the city. Whether you like to read, whether you like to ride bikes, whether you like to hike, whether you like to climb, whether you like to jog, or fitness groups. Pick a special interest group or pick a slew of special interest groups and join them, and congregate around people who are into the same things you're into. Organically, it helps because most people, the majority of people, still date and marry the people that they see day in, day out. Meaning, people date their coworkers, they date their schoolmates, they date their teachers, they date people that workers that work in their particular area where they live. They date people that they see on a regular basis, that they gain familiarity with, that they get comfortable around, and then they start to explore relationships. Right? That's how most people date organically. So because of that, the way that you create that organic meetup is to have to overexpose yourself to people, and the only way to do that is to be somewhere where someone else is that you like on a daily basis, until you start to cross fields a little bit and cross wires. And so join special interest groups if you're in a new city. It gets you a network really quickly. You get to learn about the new city. You get a friend base really quick. People of of the same interest group as you, really enjoy the same things as you, are easier to talk to. They're more open to sharing the secrets of the city and things of that nature. But also, the people of the opposite sex are more likely to be not only attracted to you but interested in more things because you share the similar interests. So that's how I do that if I was you and I wanted organic meetups. B Perez, how do you, thank you for your $5 super chat, by the way. How do you let someone down easy who has shown interest in you romantically but you're not interested? Be honest with them, and the easiest way to let somebody down is sooner than later. Too often women wait too long trying to figure out how to do it the nice way, when they really just need to do it. And I think the more time a person spends thinking about you, investing in you, meditating on what you could be and what you could become as a couple, the more damage it does to them when you decide finally to tell them. So if you learn that you don't want a guy and it's Monday evening, you don't wait till next Tuesday to tell him. You tell him Monday evening or Tuesday morning. You don't keep trying to figure out the perfect way to tell him and the perfect time to tell him, because it just makes him want you more and more. It gives him more time, more familiarity with you, and more hope. And you want to cut hope off as quick as possible so that people don't get too intertangled and too invested in each other. So the best way to let somebody down easy is early and quick. And as soon as you know you don't want it, let that person know so they don't have those couple of awkward weeks where they're trying to talk to you and you don't really want to talk to them, and they start feeling rejected, and then you abandon it. Abandon ship soon. Love and respect. Welcome to the bonus video crew. Yes, appreciate you for being a channel member, Melanie. I appreciate you. So somebody said, um, "Hi from California. You are my favorite. I listen to all your videos. I appreciate it. I wish more people listen to all my videos. I got a lot of videos out, and my views have been very low. My views are always really low in the season. It's like YouTube tries to kill my videos every spring. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But for all my subscribers, most of them don't even see I have new videos. It's kind of crazy. Every spring it happens like that, and when the summer kicks up, all of a sudden people have access to me, and I have like twice the views. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know what it's about. Nobody else seems to have that issue. Somebody said, what about if I'm long distance, or what about if long distance what about if in long distance, if I haven't met a guy yet over online, it's already 1.5 years. Okay, if you haven't met a guy after a year and a half, the rest of your question don't even, you talking about drinking too much. Now look, you ain't met a guy, you've been talking to him for a year and a half, he's nobody. He's nobody to write me about. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Leave dude alone. You ain't met him after a year and a half. Y'all ain't got nothing coming. And if he drinks too much, what the hell's, he's probably drunk. That's why you haven't met him. Screw that guy. Don't do something else. You don't want to go home to an alcoholic. Liz Lopez, thanks for the content. I appreciate your super chat, Liz Lopez. Thank you so much. Blue Girl, thanks for the $5 super chat. She said, "Hi, Kevin fam. Men don't have leadership these days. Men don't hold other men accountable. Lack of morals. Do you think things will worsen?" Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I think things are going to get worse as long as women don't require anything. As long as women think that their power and authority and their independence and their revolution as individuals happens through their vagina, it's going to get worse. Unfortunately, the modern day empowered woman who is doing her thing, and more power to her. Problem is she's not just doing her thing with guys who are man whores. She's doing her thing with all kind of guys. So you create damage in people who wanted more and couldn't get more from you, and then you drop the expectation of morals and values and integrity from men who don't have to have those to get access to you. That becomes culture, as it is now. There's a whole sect of YouTube based on just banging chicks, and there are a whole sect of female YouTubers teaching you how to get more, bag more men. So as long as the cheap people are intermingling with people who want more, we're going to get issues. If people who want casual relationships continue to date people and intermingle with people who only want casual relationships, there wouldn't be a problem. The problem is people who want love are intermingling with people who just want lust, and that creates a lot of issues for us, not just for the women, but for the men also. It's very difficult to find a woman, I'm gonna be honest, who hasn't been ran through by the guys in your neighborhood, in your tiny ecosystem. If you're a neighborhood guy, you want a girl who doesn't know everybody sexually, who your neighbor hasn't seen your woman's titties. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if it's sexist. That's what people want. Guys want a woman who is a rare and special find, not everybody's experience being shared with one woman. And so I think that to a degree, these men who don't stand for shit are intermingling with women and changing their trajectories. And I think that the women who don't want shit are intermingling with men who actually want a wholesome relationship with a woman that they can trust. Uh, and the hoes are for everybody, but the hoes don't stick to hoes. They're with everybody, and it's causing a lot of issues. I think that it's cool if you want to have a free sexual life. That's wonderful, but just deal with people who want the same. And I don't think that on either side we're getting that same integrity, but men more so than women are taking advantage of the fact that women are trying to figure out how to gain their independence and their power and their authority in the social atmosphere, and men are misguiding women to sex and misguiding women to bed. But those women aren't requiring much of those men in the beginning, so it's going to continue to get worse. Men are not being held accountable by men, but they're not being held accountable by women as well. Men do exactly what it takes, whatever it takes to get women. That has always been the standard. Women like money and nice things. Men make money and get nice things. Women used to like a gentleman. Men used to act like gentlemen. Now women don't need any of that. Women just need you to look like you got some style and show up. And that's enough to get some draws. And as long as the standard keeps dropping for the conduct that a man's supposed to have, the character that a man's supposed to have, they're all going to jump on the easy train to gratification, and it hurts everybody. But women especially, simply because men all start to teach each other that this is what it takes, absolutely nothing. And men in droves are learning that it doesn't take shit to do what you want to a woman anymore. And I think that that's the biggest disservice in it all, is that what was started as sexual empowerment is actually become a huge vehicle for for female disempowerment. And it's not women's fault, it's everybody's fault. And men don't hold each other accountable, but men aren't trying to screw men, and men aren't living to manipulate men out of things. They're living to manipulate women. And so to a degree, a man holding another man accountable doesn't do the same as a man not getting any ass because he's just not good enough. That would be very effective. Genesis Love with a $5 super chat, and I'm gonna get with you pretty somebody. She said, "Hey Kev, my ex broke up with me almost 3 weeks ago, but texts me every day, says he loves me and misses me, but doesn't do more than that. What does this mean?" It means he doesn't want you moving on, but he's moving on. That's why he broke up with you. I think that you need to create separation. If he broke up with you, if he left you, then that's what it needs to be, instead of poking at you every day to make sure you haven't gone anywhere, you haven't committed yourself to anybody else, you haven't explored anymore. He doesn't want you exploring, and he doesn't want anybody else getting you. So he's fogging up your lens while he's moving on and looking at other prospects. So he's a free man, but you're not free because you're emotionally tied to him. So as long as y'all broken up, act like you're broken up and create some space and distance until he figures out what he wants and he gives you a solid answer, or he makes a solid move. B. Perez, love and respect. Any dating in 2021 advice? Online dating. I'll be 36 tomorrow, and I've tried online dating before, and I'm not a big fan. You don't have to be a big fan of it. These are human beings. These are people. You're a person. You have something to offer. These people have, some of these people, every once in a while, one of a couple hundred, have something to offer as well. So stop looking at it as online dating it and just look at it as dating. People, unless you're going to go outside and meet people and be around or join a special interest group or something like that, you're not going to meet people. Ain't nobody going to climb through your living room window. You're going to have to go outside and meet people. And if that's not the case, all you have is online. So stop thinking about it as if people are from the internet. People are from Minnesota, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Chicago, Miami. They're not from the internet. And just like a person can meet you in a gas station and get your number and not be shit, a person can do it online in a DM. So you probably get more ain't shit people in the DM, but you have as good a chances as meeting a good person in person. Sometimes it's always a numbers game, but in person is better because you get that intelligent design, that natural selection of finding somebody and seeing that your energy is in sequence with theirs. So if you don't want to date online, that's fine, but you got to be a very busy and social person if you don't want to date, especially in COVID season. Um, you gotta do everything. Let me see. Somebody said, "How can you cut off somebody you went on one date with and have no interest in being pursued by without being rude?" It's not about being rude, Breezy. It's not about being rude. Y'all have to stop worrying about offending guys. You just have to. Like, it doesn't matter if a guy's offended. That doesn't mean you were being rude just because somebody doesn't like what you said. Anytime you tell somebody you're not interested, they're going to be offended. That's not going to be something you can't control how they respond to the news you give them. You can only control how you give them the news. And as long as you do it politely, as long as you're honest, as long as you say, "Hey, listen, I got to say something to you. I don't want to mislead you. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not interested." I don't care. That's not rude. That's personable. That's diplomatic. If they don't like it, you were not rude. They just didn't like it. Um, I'm a the rat girl 769 says, "What if you're doing your thing, but it's not having sex or relationships? I'm busy with work and school, and guys seem to want to be the center of my universe. That's never going to happen." That's okay. If guys want to be the center of your universe and you don't have that to give, and you continue to do your thing, that's okay. But I think that's a little bit vague because you might be talking about one or two different or one or two specific guys. I think it depends very much on what you mean by guys want you to be the center of their universe. Sometimes a person just wants basic attention, basic consideration, basic consistency. And sometimes people who are doing their own thing find themselves too busy to offer that. And instead of just not engaging or saying, "Hey, I'm just a little bit busy," they give people the most half-ass effort that they can possibly give them, and it doesn't necessarily do anybody any favors. So if you don't have time to date, just say that. But don't have guys, thinking that you're making progress and then it's kind of breadcrumb them, because that's what guys do. They breadcrumb women and say, "Well, I don't have time for this," but they give them just enough to stay interested. If a guy doesn't have a chance, then kill his hope. Tell him he doesn't have a chance. Don't drag him along and don't string him along, because the guys do that to girls. Men do that to women, and my comment section is full of "how dare him." But when women do that to men, it's empowerment. It's "you go, girls." Is don't let these guys, and nobody should be stringing anybody along. So just make sure that you're being considerate if you're too busy or if they can't be the center of your universe, because I don't know what you mean by that. But don't string people along by breadcrumbing them. Liz Lopez, if you're busy, then stay busy. Ignore. Absolutely. If you're busy, stay busy. But do not play with people. Let people have that real information about where they stand with you. Love and respect. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat, Sonny Cake. I appreciate you. No question. Is it a question? Am I missing a question? No question. Just love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm putting it on the house. Like I said, y'all know I'm building the house, and I'm stuffing any little super chats, any cash apps, any Venmos. I'm stuffing all of that in the house. There's a lot of stuff we got to get once we finally get the keys in like November, December, January. C. Alexander, so thank you so much for those super chats. C. Alexandria said, Kev, thanks for the content and the advice. I hope all is well. All is wonderful. I'm gonna be honest. Everything's going well. We all of our bank stuff is good. We got our blueprints for our house. We break ground, I think, on the 9th. Um, you know, I think I'm selling my house right now. I just finally got a contractor. I've been through 5 contractors. The 5th contractor finally put me on this schedule and has settled for a price for some work I need done for the house so I can sell it. So that was the biggest stress factor in my life, selling my old house. And it looks like we're going to be able to do that within the next maybe 2 weeks. So I'm excited about that. Let me look at uh, when he labeled me as just a friend and then delete my number. What should I do? You should go away. If a man deletes your number after he friend zones you, then he didn't want to be friends. He was just trying to be nice. He really has no interest in you as a human being at all. Uh, he doesn't want to feel like a bad guy, so he probably gave you the "hey, we should just be friends" thing. But when he deletes your number, it means that he didn't even mean he wanted to be friends. He just was trying to be nice. That's the problem. Too often we're so worried about offending people that we're more nice than we are honest. And when I was dating, that was the one thing that got on my nerves, is that I noticed that women were more nice than they were honest. And so it was very frustrating. And so I can tell you, men go through that same thing. But he should have just told you he wasn't interested in anything, instead of pretending to try to friend zone you when he didn't even want to be friends. Um, but even so, you take the hint. If that's what he wants, go away and stay away. You be doing yourself a favor. Melanie says, "Hey, I just became a member. Will you answer my question? Guys online invite me over right away and get sexual online. What am I doing wrong?" You're not. You're potentially not doing anything wrong. Now, I haven't had now, Melanie. I haven't seen your Instagram or your Facebook. I don't know what kind of pictures you post. You don't have an emoji, or you don't have an icon. It's just an M. So I can't tell what your energy is. I can't tell what kind of pictures you're putting out here. I'm telling you, a lot of the women who follow me are like little sex goddess diva people, and that's their business. They make their Instagram money, or they get their, they do whatever the business they do, whether they got OnlyFans or what. But then they complain about how men approach them. I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know how you present yourself online, so I can't answer that question within full context. But I can tell you that for the most part, it's a numbers game. You are attracting all men, but the whores are busy. Man whores are extremely busy, and they're always going to be way more busy than decent men, because decent men aren't chasing ass, they're chasing their purpose. And so for that fact, you're always going to get people being more sexual with you. But if you engage with them, you're giving yourself the experience. You're choosing that experience. All you got to do is block a person or delete them or stop talking to a person when it gets sexual. You don't even have to exchange with them long enough to file that. Just cut them off. Obviously, you're not the one. Next, right? You have to be that way. You spend too much time in those toxic exchanges. You give yourself trauma. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, uh, Naisha. She says, "Should I wait till after graduation to pursue something serious? Does being better established offer better opportunities?" I just wanted my perspective. I'll be honest with you, Naisha, and I'm doing a video about this soon. Being more established does not present a woman better opportunities. Doctors and lawyers, female doctors and lawyers are still competing with waitresses and cashiers. Okay, men do not give a damn about how established you are. A man who has something in his pockets isn't going to want to compete with you, and he's definitely not going to want you to take care of him. And so you'll attract men who don't have it because they are looking for it. They're looking for a come up. But being more established isn't going to work to your benefit in a relationship. Now, you need to get your shit together to have that in life, to be stable for yourself, to have that backup plan, and to just make sure you're straight. And if you have kids, they're straight. Do what you got to do. But women often think that having more or being better established and being further along in their careers is something that's going to help them with men, and it gives them 0 points with most men who have those things. You got to think of it like a cake, right? If you're baking a cake and you're a guy, um, you don't need 14 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar, right? You got flour, you need a little bit of sugar, a little bit of flour, a little bit of egg. You need all of these different things. When two people are super successful, and one person has everything, or two people are super successful, you got all the money in the world, but you still don't have the other things that build a quality relationship. Guys aren't looking for that as what they're looking for in a woman. So getting yourself better established is better for you personally. So do what you got to do, but ain't no guy waiting for a woman to be successful before he picks her up. He's looking at waitresses because waitresses admire anything that he do. He's looking at the cashiers because they think everything he do is special and grand. So to answer your question, not really, but you should do your thing because you need to do you for you, but not for a relationship, because that's not going to help you. In fact, sometimes being too successful becomes an incumbent. Brittany H, thank you for the $5 super chat. It went off, but I saved it. She said, "I met a guy online I really like. I think he has me on the drip, a text here and a call there. We both work, but dating isn't a priority for him." If he's expressed that dating isn't a priority for him, then you need to move on. He's not going to grow into a position where he's like, "Oh, you know what? Right now, I guess I'm going to prioritize dating." If he's told you dating isn't a priority to him, if he's verbally expressed that dating isn't a priority to him, then you need to take the hand and move on. He's letting you know that he's going to basically drip you into the bedroom, and and that'll be what you do. You're gonna drip sex on each other from time to time, but it's not going to be anything else because he's out trying to, I guess, get his money. So if he's already doing that, leave him alone. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Cherie. I really appreciate you. Love and respect to you for that $5 super chat. Pretty girl sent me a couple text messages or a couple of messages, so let me make sure I get to these. Somebody said innocent pictures. Okay, so Melanie says she doesn't have any seductive pictures on her profile. All of her pictures are innocent. All of her pictures are normal and wholesome. Cool. Well, that just means you're in an environment where there are a lot of guys who are very sexual, and basically, again, the hoes are busy. These man whores out here, they are busy. They are approaching every single woman they can possibly approach. So you're going to get those first a lot. Simply because they're much more busy than men who have more character and integrity for the most part. They're not chasing ass everywhere they go. Even so, you're still attracting all men. You're just not. You're probably not checking all your DMs. And if you're checking all your DMs and every man is whipping it out on you or trying to figure out how to get sexual, then get off that platform and get onto another platform where there's a different dating pool of guys on there. But don't take it personal when you get like a cluster of men who don't seem to respect, women. Just understand that is the majority of the internet at the moment. And, we're looking for new pockets of people who, have different morals and values. But at the moment, a lot of guys are finding success with that over sexual crap, and so they're using it because a lot of women, as people have been saying, are pick me women. They are looking for validation from a man by any means necessary. Then there are other women who are sexually empowered, who, as long as she's attracted to a guy, will have sex with him, and that's okay. That's her prerogative. I don't give a damn about what women do with their bodies. Blah blah blah. I shouldn't have to say that every time, but I guess I got to. The point is this: that men don't have to do a whole lot for sex anymore. All they have to do is proposition a woman, and most of the time they can find a woman. If they proposition 20 women, one will go home with them, one will drop her drawers at least. It just doesn't take any work anymore. So because of that, they're throwing that same weak game at every woman when they really need to just be congregating with women that are like them, sexually explorative and free and whatnot, and just, doing that. But even so, just go to a different platform and see if those guys are going to treat you a little bit better. But I'd like to see your page. DM me your Instagram, and let me see what you're talking about when you say your pictures are innocent. Cynthia Martinez, she says, love and respect. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I almost missed it. She said, how do you get a man to understand the importance of talking on the phone and conversing long distance? Communication is falling off, only texting. I don't know if you can get him to understand the importance of it. If he doesn't find it important, you're at an impasse, right? A guy who cares about you, a guy who loves you, is going to want to connect with you. If you have a long distance relationship and he's not seeing you, and he also doesn't want to hear your voice, you're dealing with somebody who has probably a limited scope of emotions for you. He's not really pulled to you or drawn to you, because the sweetest sound in the world to a man in love is the voice of the woman he's in love with. Period. And I don't give a damn what era we in. I don't care if people say they're not phone people. None of that shit matters. People love talking to the person that they love. If you found that this gentleman isn't talking to you and isn't really interested in talking to you, then it's likely that he's not as in love as maybe he once was. He's not as enthused anyway. Let me drink some of this. I'm gonna cover this camera. So yeah, if the text messaging is all you're getting and he's not giving you a phone conversation, and I'm sure you've probably mentioned it. If you haven't mentioned it, mention it. But if you've mentioned it and he's refusing to talk to you on the phone, you're not in a relationship anymore. So you might as well start looking for the exit door. And I know that hurts, and it might be very disappointing, but staying in a loveless or a communicationless relationship is more damaging to you than it is beneficial. Erica Kane, love and respect. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. She says, a guy I just met put his hand on my shoulder. He also hugged me in front of a lot of people. If a guy does this without knowing my level of comfort, is he worth my time? Well, he put his hand on your shoulder and he hugged you. It means he's affectionate, and it could be creepy, but I think it was without intention, and unless he hugged you and like pressed his pelvis into your pelvis, or he didn't keep the 6 inches. A guy hugs a woman respectfully, he keeps the 6 inches. If a guy hugs a woman and he presses his pelvis up against her pelvis, then it's a problem. And so I don't know how he hugged you, but if he just hugged you in a way that a friend will hug a friend, or a guy who likes a woman will hug her trying to be a nice guy, which is really some sucker shit. But let's say he's doing that because he doesn't know your level of comfort. I still don't think it means he's a bad guy. He could be worth your time. It just means he's more affectionate and he's more of a touchy person. Touch might be his love language. He might come from a family that is very affectionate. Like my sons might have an issue when they're older because we're a very affectionate family. I don't know how many times I kissed my son today. I don't know. He's 4. I kiss him all the time. I literally lose count. But as he grows older, he might have a different. He seems to have a different relationship with affection than maybe other 4-year-olds who grew up in houses where people don't hug, they don't kiss, they don't cuddle. We cuddle and kiss and hug in his house, and so it just depends. My sons might be that type of guy that hug a person instead of shaking their hands, or instead of just looking at them and say, "Hey, what up?" Nodding their hands. They might need to hit the rock or slap some, give a high five or a hug or embrace in some way. And so most of the time, the level of a person's physical comfort with breaking the touch barrier has more to do with the culture of their upbringing and their environment than whether or not they know your comfort level. The best thing you can do is if you like that guy at all, or if you're interested at all, if you're intrigued a little bit, let him know that your comfort level around touches may be different than his, and see if his character and his integrity are intact. But that's no indication of character or integrity or the lack thereof just because he hugged you or touched your shoulder. Um, Takesha D. Fields, love and respect. Thank you for the 199 super chat. She says, "Why do guys want to be chased nowadays? Because they find it to be the easier way to get women. All a man used to want is to chase, to hunt, to conquer, and his dominance and his leadership was tested in his ability to chase, and find prey, find women, find social status. Everything was a man's ability, was tied to a man's ability to conquer the odds. Now, men have figured out that all you have to do is refuse to chase women. In fact, neglect them and be assholes, and women will chase you. It's so much less of an investment. It's so much more energy saving, and it's probably a way more pleasurable simply because more women will chase a man than he has the energy to chase. And so I think again the standards of women change for men, and that's why men don't chase anymore. And I know, and every damn time I say something that doesn't make the man look like the villain, or doesn't absolve women of their responsibility to make decisions, somebody writes me and say, "You sound like the man's the problem. You sound." I don't give a fuck about none of that. Listen, men do what is required to get some ass, period. If nothing is required to get inside of you, then nothing is what you'll get, right? Period. If men were in ecosystems where all the women, let's say there's this magic city, let's say Timbuktu, Wyoming, and then Timbuktu, Wyoming, all the women require a man to have a job, uh, a sense of responsibility, a sense of community, and a sense of protection, like a protector and a provider. Let's say they all require integrity, and they all require stability, mental stability, and honesty, and all of these things. Let's say that this one city in the world where all of the women came together and said, "We only like men that do this and there are this." All the men would strive from the day they understand that women have value to them sexually. All those men would strive from the day they hit puberty to become the type of man that a woman would sleep with. Women decide the standards of men, not Kevin Samuels, not Alpha Male Strategies, not any one of these 2, 3 dozen pickup artist channels that are out here. Women decide the standards. Women decide what men have to do to get access. The problem is women can't decide together. Women can agree on what should warrant access. You got women that want to match the power of men by acting like men. So nothing's required to get access outside of attraction. Then you have women who are trying to remain traditional, but they stick out like a sore thumb because they're right next to women who require nothing. Then you have other women who are so desperate for love and attention and validation that they require nothing, but it's from an emotional abandonment place, right? You got the narcissistic father that set them up for failure. That's why they chase narcissistic men. Um, Men want to be chased because it works. It's the way to get the most women. And if it stopped working, then they would stop wanting to be chased and they would go back to being leaders. So it's not exclusively women's fault. I'm not saying that, not blaming women. Shouldn't have to say that, but I do. But every person decides the standards for themselves. And if you don't chase men, then you won't be required to chase anyone. But if you chase men, then every guy that you date, you will chase, and you will have to chase to keep his attention. Men are responding to the energy each individual woman gives him. If he doesn't want to be a man, if he doesn't want to lead, if he doesn't want to pursue, not chase, let's stop using the word, but pursue. If he doesn't want to pursue a woman and she requires pursuit, then he'll go waste someone else's time. Let him. Ashley Patrick, love and respect. Thank you for the super chat, for the $4.99 super chat. I think I got it. So yeah, Takesha, it's just you set the standards for the guys you encounter. As much as we like to think that all of those things are set in stone, all of those things are fixed. A lot of it's dynamic. A lot of it's cultural, and I wish more women could group together and come up with the new standard for themselves as a group. Um, I feel like a lot of times we're all at battle with each other. Men don't agree with men about how to treat women. Women don't agree with women about how men should treat them and how they should treat men as well. And so we have so many different subgroups, and then where everybody in every subgroup is just intermingling, and that's why we have so much confusion. People can't find people who want what they want because it's so much confusion. So that's I don't know. That's so much. There's so many reasons why men don't want to pursue women anymore. I don't like the word chase. I think chase is a little bit degrading. Um, Hearts Wild, a guy I knew 40 years ago found me on Facebook that I forgot all about. Um, that I had forgot all about myself. He told me he just wanted to see what I was doing and wanted to keep talking to me. So I did for a while. I found out, and then the rest of it, he just wanted to talk to someone. He just wanted to talk to someone once in a while. So he was lonely. That guy just wanted to talk to anybody once in a while, but he's probably living a lonely life. He doesn't have any satiating social relationships. He doesn't have any emotional connections that are keeping him full in that way. And so he's reaching out, trying to figure out who he can connect himself to in a way that doesn't offer itself to any responsibility or issues, but scratches that itch when he needs to feel like he has a friend or something like that. That's actually a little bit sad if that's all he's doing it for and he doesn't have a lot of people to talk to. Um, Raquel said, I felt surprised I'm not actually busy and I can catch this. Well, you here? I appreciate you for being a channel member too. Um, Somebody said, wow, you're live. Okay. So my screen just jumped. I don't even know where I was, but I'll start from the bottom and go up, I guess. Kev, how do I get a guy to trust a female the right way? How do I get a guy to trust a female the right way? I think that trust is something that should be bestowed upon individual people. I don't trust females or males until I have a reason to. And so yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that because I think trust is something that you have to handle on an individual scale. Um, why does narcissist continue to act like he wants a relationship when he clearly knows he's a compulsive liar and I don't take him serious at all and knows I can start seeing other people? He still continues to want a relationship because you're not cutting him off. You're still in contact with him. If he's a narcissist, why are you still in contact with him? If you're a narcissist, if he's a narcissist, why haven't you started seeing other people? You said he knows I can start seeing other people, but you haven't. You're still in contact with him. He still can reach you. That's why, because you're still within range. You're in striking range. A narcissist will not let you go. They will ride the bumper if they got to. That you would drag them behind the truck, and they'll just hold on for dear life because they need somebody that they can control. And if they've controlled you once, they think they can control you again. So the problem is you still in contact with him. Why does he still know your number? Why does he still know how to reach you? Why does he still have access to you? That's the problem. Not that he still keeps trying, but that you allow him to be so close that he thinks that there's a chance. Um, Somebody said, I find guys will compliment me and be charming, telling me what it seems like I want to hear, but the actions don't match. Do I just play along or call them out on it? No. If somebody's pissing you off with being just BSing you, say something about it. Yeah, I notice your actions and your words don't match. Tell me about that. Yeah. What is that about? Explain yourself. You have fun with it or just don't respond to it at all. Tell them actions speak louder than words and say nothing else about it when they give you those, sweet nothings. Feminine energy is leaning back and receiving. Pursuing is masculine and will drive men away in the end. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's truth to that. Absolutely. Uh Life Coach Love, $20 super chat. I appreciate you. And apparently a workout pair. Workout pair. What the hell are those called? I appreciate you anyway. I don't know what that's just called. But thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. And the workout pair. Provide, for protect, gallant, generous. Or gallant, generous. Somebody said, I have attracted narcissistic men the last couple of times. How can I avoid attracting these individuals? Appear to be self-sustaining, appear to be, unusable, appear to be less malleable, and actually follow through. There's a difference between appearing to be strong and competent and ready, and the appearance of it, right? You can appear to be that way and not be that way. And most of the time, women who look strong and make a display of, as they say, being in their masculine frame or whatever, if they make a display of their strength, then usually it's a facade. Actually be that woman. Be strong, be competent, be prepared to say no and to walk away and to not oblige. If you are not willing to say no, the narcissist will enjoy you. Um, you are attracting narcissists because you're probably too accommodating and you look like someone who can be made use of. The narcissist always wants to make use of someone, and you look like you can be made use of. So be very careful about how you project your generosity and your emotional empathy towards strangers, because you never know when it's a narcissist looking for their next victim. Tell me how to DM you. I'm not on Instagram. Okay, so Melanie, she's I'm old. Okay, if you're not on Instagram, are you on Facebook? If you type Kev Hick on Facebook, I think Kev Hick Talks Guys with Girls, or Kev Hick on Facebook is one of that might be my personal Facebook. I don't care. I think I'm Kev Hick, KEV space HICK on Facebook. There's no S in my name. Everybody puts an S. I don't know where they got that. Hick is short for Hickman, not Hicks. So anyway, KEVHICK. If you put that in on Facebook, I can look at your Facebook if you don't have Instagram, so I can see if you're doing too much. I'm going to the bottom. How do you handle a narcissist that's your baby daddy? Limited contact, co-parent, and only that. Too often, baby daddies and baby's mamas be talking too much. They be trying to have too many different conversations. You should be sticking to the logistical information, and that's it. Where to pick him up at, where to drop them off at, what time to do that, and that's it. Stop trying to have conversations and hash shit out. Somebody said, damn, this is jumping so quick. Somebody said, wow, it's not Hicks. I feel lied to. Yeah, Shaky's channel. It's definitely not Hicks. Everybody puts an S. And if you ever cash at me, the cash app is $Kev Hick, just like I spelled it, KEVHICK. I've had 3 or 4 people cash at me and add that S, and that's an actual guy that was on Cash App before me. He keeps your money. You have to actually complain to Cash App to get that guy to give you your money back. So please don't put an S. Please. Let me see. Erica Kane said, most guys who approach me only want sex, even ask for it on the first date. Is there and it jumped around. I almost had you. It jumped around. My comment section jumped. If guys are asking you for sex on the first date, don't go on the second date and walk out. Have an Uber ready or your car ready. Start meeting guys at the restaurant instead of letting them pick you up. But you're supposed to be moving on when somebody whip out on you on the first date or try to ask for sex and they ain't done nothing for you. They don't want what you want. A guy got offended with me. A guy got offended with me on a date because I asked him, so does that mean you're fake with everything else? He was saying he doesn't tip waiters and that he's real about that. What do you think about this? Kia, a kiss. If you go on a date with a guy who's indignant about not tipping wait staff, please never go on a date with him again. That again, you drive your car, have them drive their car, and when he says that shit, you say, I'm going to the bathroom, and you leave. Okay? just as inconsiderate as he is to wait staff who only make like $5 an hour or $7 an hour. Their tips are their payment. That's people who treat people who can't do anything back to them like shit need to be avoided. People who mistreat those who can't help them, who can't offer anything to them, need to be avoided. The mark of a decent enough individual, woman or man, is how they treat people who can't do anything for them. Okay. So when you got a guy who's telling you he doesn't tip wait staff, he's telling you that he's too broke to tip wait staff. And if you're broke, just say that. Don't say I don't tip them and try to figure out how to articulate it. And some he doesn't have enough money to tip staff, and he feels like that $2 or $3 or $5 or $6 is going to break him. So he's letting you know that he's either broke or a terrible individual who doesn't have any character and doesn't have any consideration or empathy. So you need to leave that guy alone immediately. Like yesterday, like really leave the day. If he tells you he doesn't tip wait staff, tell him you go into the bathroom and never return. And that's worse for not tipping wait staff. Man, what a son of a bitch he is. Damn, why would you even be that? I tip well. So I can't stand when people are stingy with the tips. Somebody said, talking Eni says talking to an intellectual, and so it's hard to tell whether or not he is romantically interested. Yes, intellectuals are very difficult to measure. I'm an intellectual. I can have a conversation with anybody and they won't know if I was just being nice or if I was like interested, because I give everybody the same like light. And as an intellectual, I can't tell when other intellectuals like are talking to me for any particular reason. I think that's the one of the most confusing personality types to measure what they want from you. It takes a lot of talks and a lot of undertone watching to figure out if an intellectual is really into you or they're just listening to their self talk, making their favorite points, and proving that they can hold their beliefs in a debate forum or when expressing them to some people. So some intellectuals are kissing their own ass by speaking to you and um, trying to impress you with their intellect so that it can feed their ego. Not all of them, but that's the thing that happens a lot. So intellectuals are just kind of shifty and a little bit fluid. They're hard to pin down and hard to group uh, energetically when they're in your face giving you something. So time will tell when intellectual. Somebody says, I have a friend and the wait. She said, I have a friend and the wait was 43 months. Now, but now after trying to move on, he wants to come back. Okay, so I don't know what wait you're referring to as far as 43 months. Um, but so I don't understand where you. So it sounds like you used to date, and I'm messed up with the 43 months thing. That sounds like a very big baby. Rephrase that, Liz, Matt, and hope Pretty Girl catches the rephrasing because I'm confused at that. Um, Somebody said, should you bring attention when a man boyfriend makes plans but doesn't follow through on that day? Usually follows through, but sometimes falls off. It's been 7 months. Listen, a lot of guys, and maybe I'm just partial to this. I don't give a damn about making plans. People think I'm perfect. I'm loyal. I'm loyal and I'm faithful, but damn it, I'm not perfect. I'm not no plans made. I got shit to do. And I just that's my flaw. One of my flaws is I'm not the most thoughtful person in the world. I'm pretty robotic. I'm pretty predictable, and I don't give a damn about making plans because I have a very low threshold for the need of entertainment. And so I need to be better at making plans myself. So I'm a little partial, just from a guy's perspective. But if I say I'm going to make plans, I like to make plans. I like to try to follow through. If we get down to the day, my wife already knows if I did it or didn't. Usually, if we're down to the day, the plans are made. I'm not going to stand my wife up on plans. But if there's an ambiguous time frame, like, hey, we should do something sometime, I'm gonna probably be a little bit later on that than she is about following through. But if there's a specific day and time, um, most of the time I probably show up with my plan. So that's a part of his personality, I would imagine. What does he do great? What does he do good? What does he do consistently? What does he do naturally? Plans is a thing that I don't know how making plans became such a huge theme with women. And it's funny how women will require a man to make plans, but they won't require a man to be faithful. It's amazing. I think that at mass we have some bigger issues to fry than plan making. But to your point, you're allowed to be frustrated with that. Communicate, stay on top of him. You're learning that he's not the person that you want to just leave that up to chance with, that you want to remind him and make sure that he's following through. So learn how he processes that, learn what it takes to get those plans made and followed through on, and contribute to that. um, he's showing you that that's a flaw he has, that's something he struggles with. And it's easy to say, you don't do this thing the way I would do it. But sometimes instead of doing that, just help him. If he needs to be reminded, just remind him. You could be somewhere having fun, but instead you're somewhere mad as hell because you're not doing anything, or he didn't make the perfect plans. I'm more excited about the experience. I don't give a damn whose idea it was, and maybe he's in that way similar to me. That as long as we're doing something fun, I don't care who made the plans, who called the restaurant, who decided what to do. I just want to do the thing and have a good time. And if he doesn't have space mentally where he feels like that can be a priority for him, or he's just a little bit absent-minded when it comes to that, you know your man, and if that's the worst of it, enjoy your good man. Um, there are way worse things than the guy not being creative and making plans. But it's important. You're allowed to love that. You're allowed to want that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as a guy who sucks at making plans, there's so much more going on in my mind. I'm trying to figure out a lot of different equations for the future, for the trajectory of my family, for inheritances, and there's a lot of pressure on a man's shoulder. And sometimes, if he's traditional as a provider and protector, making plans might be a thing that he slacks on, and it's not because he's better or it's beneath him. It's just because he's not necessarily naturally inclined to be as thoughtful in that area. And so, just respect that he has his flaws, and if that's the worst of it, please pat that brother on the back, because there's some way worse men than men who don't make plans. But again, I'm partial because I don't make very good plans myself. And Kia a kiss, exactly. It was our third date. He paid all three, so I chose to tip the third date just to be kind to him and the waiter. That's how the topic got brought up, and then he got offended with my question. So I did cut him off. Yeah, cut that dude off. You mistreat wait staff. You lame and weak. Now, if we go on a date and I'm like, and some guys believe, well, they pay and you tip. If that's how they do things, then that's different, as long as they want the waiter to be tipped. But if they're like, I don't tip wait staff, they're beneath me, then that guy's a piece of shit. Get rid of him. Don Caesar, love and respect. She said, Kev, I'm in my 50s. She said, Kev, I'm in my 50s. Dating has been challenging. I have also joined meetup groups, online sites is a cesspool. How can I find a decent man? That depends on your interests. A decent man, and how you define a decent man. You're in your 50s. You're trying to find a man who wants what exactly? Because guys in their 50s might be decent, but they might not want marriage. Some guys in their 50s might be decent, but they have younger kids. Some guys in their 50s, might be decent enough, but they are of a different religion. I think that you need to define the core values that you're looking for and the core traits of a person that you're looking for, and it becomes easier to figure out what you're aiming at. And this is not the wish list. This is not the 35 different things in the wish list. It's this is just the 5 core things that you're looking for from this person. Figure out what that is, because sometimes there are decent men, and I've talked to a lot of women who told me these decent men were hard to find, and they were surrounded by decent men. They just are more picky than that. So I'm not saying that you're not right about the dating being a cesspool or anything like that. I'm just saying that you have to start getting around people on a regular basis and finding people who share your interest. I wouldn't know specifically how you could find a good man unless I knew your city, your state, your origin, things of that nature. So if you have an Instagram, and you probably don't, if you have a Facebook, do it on Facebook. Just remind me of where we started talking, because people write me all the time. Um, but if you can, write me on Facebook at Kev Hick, or write me on Instagram at kevhick24, and give me more details about that so I can help you. And let me see. Brown Goddess, she said, how to get a masculine man, although society push feminine first. Masculine, masculine men are everywhere, apparently. Hell, if you watch YouTube, apparently every guy's masculine. Y'all see the comment sections? All these guys think they alpha. They watch a couple videos and all of a sudden they're he-mans. So society pushes feminine men, but those are medias, those are media outlets, those are Hollywood industries, and different entertainment industries. At the core of it, people are still doing the same shit they were always doing. We can't look at what they're doing on TV, or what they're doing, and what they push at us in social media to share, to promote to us. Normal men are still normal men. And so finding a masculine man is easy, but what does that mean? And what does that come with? Masculinity by itself is often misunderstood. And are you talking about a 5%er? Are you talking about a so-called high value man? Are you talking about a guy who doesn't put women on a pedestal? Or are you talking about a guy who respects his woman as a queen, but just works hard and does what it takes to handle a business for his family? There are a lot of different types of men who would fall into the alpha category, and it just or the masculine category. But it depends very much so on who's defining what masculine is. So I'd have to know how you define masculine to really answer that question. But thanks for your super chat. I would tell you that you get yourself a man, and this goes for all of you guys, or all of you ladies. First of all, and thank you, Natasha Fulton, for your $5 super chat. I don't want to miss it. But a man. A lot of you guys, ladies, are looking for a man who have money in his pocket, or who has his ducks in a row, so to speak. Uh, that's a wonderful thing to have. Get you a man that has good financial stewardship in his life. Get you a man who's responsible with his money, and who is a reasonable spender. Get you a man who can manage his money, as is financially educated. But some of you have to stop looking at the dollar amount that a man brings home, because a man can bring home $200,000 and have piss poor spending habits and be living paycheck to paycheck. A man can make $70,000 or $50,000 a year and be living great, because he doesn't live to look rich. So be very careful about some of these guys who make a display of their wealth or what they have, because sometimes they're spending everything they have to look like they're richer than they are, and they don't have anything after they pay their Mercedes bill and pay their Versace suit bill and all of these shit and all the stuff that they do. Get you a man who's a good financial steward and who's faithful and loyal. That's a decent man. If you can find good financial stewardship, good credit, and a faithful and loyal man, there are a whole lot more of them than there are rich men who also are going to slow down, screwing a bunch of chicks to be with you because you want a masculine man. So there's so much there. I guess we got to do more videos about masculinity. So I'll work on some. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom and work myself up. Meg, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Um, Somebody says, my lead and I have been flirting and in text during work hours only. He's in a relationship, but it's on the rocks. He shows interest and then pulls back. Should I wait or let it be? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody else. He's in a relationship, but it's on the rocks. Fuck all that butt stuff. He's in a relationship. Stop messing around with these guys telling you that shit ain't good at home. She don't make me happy. I'm going to leave her soon. If he was going to leave, he'd be gone. And until he's gone, stop trying to figure out how to make a relationship with a guy who's already got a relationship. You're going to end up in a love triangle is what's going to happen. Or you're going to end up as the other woman getting pressed into some couch cushions, trying to figure out where you went wrong and why he's not leaving his woman. Stop dating men when they tell you that their relationships are on the rocks, uh, all of that crap. Because a lot of times a man is going home to a woman who doesn't know the relationship is on the rocks, who's still sucking and screwing and cooking and cleaning, and you run around here thinking that he's going home to some mess, to some arguments. They sleeping in different rooms when he's sleeping inside of her. And so be very, very careful when you start dealing with these guys who will start a new relationship. And if he's only texting you in work hours only, it tells me that she's in his face and she's always by him. If he doesn't have enough space that he can text you outside of work hours, it tells me that she's sitting next to him if he's not at work. It tells me that she's still right by him and she might not know that the relationship is on the rocks. So please don't make the dating mistake of dating somebody who's already in a relationship because you hope it'll end soon. Because most of the time, men will lie and tell you that their relationship or their marriage is on the rocks when their marriage is fine. They're just looking for some ass on the side. And they know that if a woman thinks that the relationship is on the rocks, she doesn't have any guilt about sleeping with somebody else's man. Do what you will with that information. Let me make sure I don't have any more text messages. Um, I'm gonna go down here. Okay, so she said, "You're right. You're so right about these guys having no idea what alpha is. I'm also over 50, and while dating is challenging, I know that the right man is out there for me. I keep a positive attitude. You have to be. Men are taking advantage of the scarcity mindset. Women are acting like there are three guys in the world, and they are doing whatever it takes to keep the attention of the same three guys. That scarcity mindset has been weaponized against women, and that's why a lot of women are running around here talking about, well, ain't no man perfect. They all cheat. We're gonna take this cheating. Well, a lot of guys aren't cheating. Okay, a lot of guys are too busy to cheat. They're too committed to their families to cheat. They got other shit to do. It's just not. It's not a thing that everybody's dealing with. Um, the right guy is out there for you. Don't get yourself involved and intertwined in that scarcity mindset that starts to allow you to form a relationship with the idea that you can get treated like shit and it still be okay because at least you got a man. Um, so absolutely keep a positive attitude and keep an abundance mindset. Shit, the it keeps jumping around. I keep finding the question and it's so thick in here. Somebody said, "At Kev, is there something I am doing wrong if these guys keep asking for sex up front? Uh, I'm super shy and I don't give off a sexual energy intentionally. I'd have to see the way you dress. Send me your Instagram, Erica Kane, or if you're if maybe yeah that was M. Send me your Instagram, Erica Kane. I'm at kevhick 24. Let me see your Instagram or your Facebook. Maybe you're doing something, or maybe you're not. Maybe you just meeting some freakazoids, and that's cool too. But you're spending too much time with a guy. If a guy starts flirting and giving you sexual innuendo, and you've never heard his voice, stop talking to him. Just don't return any more text messages. The problem is men do that, and then you keep texting them, and then they get to a date, and they're like, "So we fucking." Like you can't do that. If a guy starts getting sexual and you ain't never heard his voice, he hadn't called your phone number, but he's trying to sext you, it's a wrap. Wrap that shit up. It's time to go. Baby doll, greetings from Houston, Texas. Can you do a video about women building a dating roster and dating multiple men? I suppose I would need context and what type of information you would want about that very specific um, video you asked for. So write me on Instagram, baby doll. Do like a star hashtag baby doll as the first couple words, and then write me the what you were thinking and what direction you were trying to go with that video, and I'll probably do it. Erica Kane. Um, I got that one already. Sabrina Mitchell said, "Hey Kev, I am undecided if I want to get with a younger guy I really like and have known for years as I'm about to go through a divorce. How much younger? A younger guy could be 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 20 years. I can tell you if a younger guy, I don't know what your age is, but I can tell you a lot of times younger guys might fetishize an older woman. They might be very, very extremely ridiculously attracted to one, but a lot of times there's a blockage between a younger guy's sexual desire for an older woman and his permanent desire for her and his faith that he can stay with her forever. A lot of times older women are wanted by younger guys sexually, and it gives them this burst of energy and self-esteem and validation, but then they try to have a relationship with those same younger guys and it doesn't turn into anything at all. Those younger guys just want to hit it, have the experience, linger a little bit, fake a relationship, and then move on. So be very careful about dating younger guys. If they're too much younger, if they're over 12 years younger, you need to be figuring out what the hell's going on and what they're really attracted to. And of course, a younger guy can be serious, but they are so much more few and far between than decent guys of your age. Then it's not worth taking the risk of falling in love with somebody and him leaving you for somebody his age eventually, especially if he's under. So 12 years is really where I like to cut off. I don't really like anything over 12 years. Shit starts getting weird. Um, Oh, I am 34 and he's 24. No, that's actually not scary. When I was 24, I would have, if I was single, dated a 34-year-old. Seriously, I don't think 34 is a scary. Like that is not. Y'all still young, and vibrant and full of energy. 24 and 34 is not. I mean, he's a younger man, but it's not like you're 50 trying to date a 34, right? Or like that is the type of age gap I'm talking about. 24 and 34, you might have some maturity issues, but you still look good enough for him to commit himself to you. To him, you're still going to have the youthfulness that he identifies with, because 24 and 34 don't look that different. Um, if you take care of yourself. Um, Baby doll, love and respect. Greetings from Houston, Texas. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She said, "Can you?" Oh, I already read it. My bad. Love Leanna. That's what I was looking for. She said, "Can you read my She said, "Can you read my question? It's two parts, back to back." New subscriber, by the way. I love your channel, Leanna. Let me try to find your question. Pretty girl, can you find Leanna's question so I can read it? She said, it's two parts back to back. So we're gonna look for your question, Leanna, and then we're gonna dig into it. Uh, I hope we can find it. Sharina Leon, thank you for the $10 super chat. She says, "I'm 51 years old, getting back into the dating scene after losing my husband last year. I speak to a lot of widows, a lot of widows. I hope you're referring to something else, but it sounds like you might be widow. Um, Dating is nothing like it was when I was 19 years. When I was nine, dating is nothing like it was 19 years ago. Shaking my head, absolutely. 19 years ago, you didn't have. I mean, you had the internet, but very few people had it. 19 years ago, what was that? 19 years ago? Oh no, 19 years ago, people was doing the internet thing. I had a computer in my room when I was 14. I had a was that night? Is that 19 years ago? Maybe I was 15. I'm 34. So 19 years ago, I was in the chat rooms 19 years ago. But if you were 51, you probably would. That wasn't your culture. We were being raised with computers, and that wasn't your culture. You were right after that. So yes, dating is very much different. And older guys have gotten right in line with it because it's easier and it's more efficient for them. Older guys are acting like young boys now because now they can put all their possessions and all their prosperity online like the young boys, and young women will respond to them. And the internet dating world has given older men access to younger women that they've just never had, even broke older men. So it's really serious that it's a serious difference between 19 years ago, you dating, and now. Um, the only thing I can tell you is it's a numbers game, and it's going to take you a lot more numbers than it would have taken had the internet stopped, had the internet not come into play. Um, just meet people, spend as much FaceTime in person with people as possible, and try to meet people or who share interests with you, who have another reason besides being attracted to stand by their commitments, because it's very difficult, and a lot of older men are chasing young women like younger men are right now. Leanna, and ask me if you on Instagram and you have a specific question, because you didn't really ask a question, you just made a statement, and I appreciate you. So if you do have a question, just remind me of who you are on Instagram, and I'll answer your specific question. So Leanna had a two-parter. This was her two-parter. She said, I'm 24 and I've been talking to a 35-year-old guy for a month. He never calls and our texts are always short and dry. And he also brings up sex a lot. Okay, that's the first part. Fuck that guy. Stop talking to him. The second part is we met in person once, had good conversations. It was like meeting a best friend. We slept together and now I want a serious relationship, but he doesn't. How do I change his mind? You can't change his mind. You cannot change a man's intention. He's been in your energy field. He's been around you. He's felt you, right? And not just sexually, like he's felt your vibrational energy, your spiritual energy. And he's decided that he does not want to come home to it. You should not have slept with that man. He has not invested any effort whatsoever. Short, dry text messages. This is the stuff I've been talking about when we talk about the standards of men, men not holding men accountable, all of these things. Why men don't want to work anymore. This is why, because they don't have to, right? So you had no business going on a date with that guy if all he was doing was giving you dry and occasionally sexual text messages. And when you met in person once, he gave you good conversation and you slept with him. Was it for the conversation? I feel like you might have friends. Like you didn't owe that brother nothing. And unless you are just having casual relationships with people, it sounds like you want love. So you fucking for love and he's fucking for fun. You didn't have no business meeting that guy, let alone giving him your body. Now, if you are a sexual goddess and you are empowered, and I don't mean to say that like I'm shit. I really don't care what people do. I just want them to be safe and do what leads to the result they want. But if that's the result you want, is a guy hitting it and that's it, then you keep having sex with men the first time you see them. Because I don't know how many hours you spent with him. Um, but if I'm guessing on your first date might have been 7 or 8 hours if it was a great, successful date. You slept with a guy that you knew for 8 hours. When you text a guy, you don't know him. You don't know a man until you see his face. The minute you see his face and y'all are on your first date, that's when the time clocks that you know a guy. That's when it starts. It doesn't start when he text messages you or when you're on a dating app. So you literally knew that guy for hours and slept with him and you want a serious relationship. He's never invested in you. He's never even spent hours talking to you. He's never even invested an hour probably text messaging you. Now you want a serious relationship. Why do you want a serious relationship? You don't even know much about him. You don't even know if he's the type of guy you want to be with. Like energetically, consistently, what he offers. You don't know what his sense of responsibility is. You don't know him. You had one conversation with him. Don't take this the wrong way, but you don't know that gentleman any more than you knew when you laid down with him, and he doesn't know you. He doesn't want a serious relationship with a stranger. Ah, so I did a video today. It's about how men fall in love with what they see and women fall in love with what they hear. And I'll give you a sample of this video. The premise is women fall in love with what they hear. And when you're listening to your voice in your head, reading a man's text messages, you fall in love with that character, right? So all you have to do is read a man's words and you have the propensity to fall in love. A man needs to see you and spend time with you. A man does not fall in love with things that he can't see or a person that he doesn't see. So a man has not spent any time with you, especially non-sexual time. He can't fall in love with you. So women are at a disadvantage text messaging men that they're not spending non-sexual time with, and men are at no risk at all emotionally text messaging a woman because they don't fall in love with what they hear. They literally fall in love with what they see, the people they spend time around. Okay, so that video is actually coming out tomorrow. It's done editing. I'm just going to release it tomorrow. I'm trying to trick YouTube into showing people my videos again because apparently I haven't cussed out any black women on my channel, so I can't get popping. And I'm a little bitter about that because I really love trying to do the right thing. And it's funny how the right thing is never viral. Even so, I'm trying to trick YouTube into loving me again because I got hacked and then Derek Jackson got in trouble and people stopped watching dating coaches and car videos. And the hack actually took about half of my views. So my channel has been through a lot the last couple of weeks, but That video will come out tomorrow, and it would do you some good to watch that video, Leanna. How men fall in love with what they see, and women fall in love with what they hear. I think I'm gonna title the video something to the extent of how men fall in love, or something of that nature. But the video that comes out tomorrow, about 5 or 6 o'clock p.m., that video will help you a lot in the functioning of your next budding relationship. And again, I hope I haven't offended you, but you made a few drastic mistakes in that one, and you cannot change his mind. His intention is to screw you, and he's done that. And so now he's done unless you want to screw some more. And that's it. That's all he has to give you. Dick is your reward. No offense. Um, let me see. Let me see. Any advice for dating a single mom in her 20s? Any advice for dating a single mom in her 20s? I have a dating single mom in her 20s. I have an adorable toddler. My career, fitness, and my own place is situated. I'm ready to have a companion. If you're a single mom in your 20s, and you yeah, I can tell you're a pretty girl from your picture, and your fitness is together, and your career is together, and all of these other things, all else is equal. Uh, just don't put no pressure on yourself, but just date, meet people, answer DMs. You have a baby, so I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these women out here are looking for sparks and looking for all of this immediate connection. And I have a video coming out about connection that's probably going to be a little bit rough. It's going to be rough. I'm probably have to put a parental advisory sticker on it because it's kind of a rant, but it's a strong worded rant about connection. Even so, you have a child. You don't have the luxury of picking ain't shit men and having them around your kid. And I've known too many women to pick ain't shit men because they still date for themselves in the absence of considering their child. So you really need to be looking at all of the men that you normally would have friend zoned before you had a child. You need to be trying to pick some of them friend zone guys up because those are the only men that are going to love your child like they're supposed to be, and involve themselves like they're supposed to be. You can't pick a guy who's just looking to have fun and who doesn't have a mature mindset about what he wants to offer a family, a woman, a child, or the world. Get you a man who's looking for a family, and there are plenty of them. You might have to date up a couple of years, but you can have what you want and you're ready for a companion. I understand that, but you're going to have to really look at the things that matter. Stop looking at a man's shoes or his style. Look at his financial stewardship, his level of responsibility, and how committed he is to being good to you. And obviously, you're allowed to be attracted to him, but just please don't spark chase. You are in a position where you can compromise the health and the mindset of your child having the wrong type of men around them. And so single mothers really need to be very careful. Keep your fitness together. That's wonderful. That's awesome. That is always a bonus. You open yourself up to so many more men when you're in shape. But that in exclusivity isn't all that matters. You still have to find somebody who wants to love a woman. And if a guy's giving you sex stuff and he's not talking on the phone and he's trying to hit it the first time he sees you and all of these things that we've talked about here tonight, you can't give him any time. I got a super chat question. I got to get off of here in about 3 or 4 minutes too. My wife gave me I know we got to watch a movie. I think we're gonna watch. Are we gonna watch Mortal Kombat tonight? We should watch Mortal Kombat. We haven't seen it yet. No spoilers. Natasha Fulton, thank you, love and respect. She said, "Been seeing a grown man for 1 month. Well, I would hope he's grown. Uh, it started very consistent, not so much anymore. He said we were good, but has not called in 3 days. Yes, he's conflict avoidant. He's not saying what he wants to say, and he's trying to distance himself. So don't chase him. If that's what he's doing, then ultimately you're going to fade to black anyway. Just let it happen. If he calls you or reaches out to you, then be very honest about where your mind is about how he's not communicating. But to be honest, if he's not thinking about you and not reaching out, and it's not because he's tired of you not reaching out, first of all, he should communicate that if that's the case. But If that's not his reasoning, is I'm tired of her leaving me, like ignoring me, not caring about me. If that's not his reasoning, and he's just like, no, we straight, and he's not giving you anything, then it's probably time for you to start reconfiguring your thoughts around what the relationship means, because he's not going to tell you explicitly until he has to that he's not interested. And why wait for that? Um, so anyway, I hope that helps. One more question, and I'm off of here. One more question. When was this? Hold on. One more question, and I'm off of here. Let me look. Okay, this one, Miss Amila. Love and respect. She said, so this guy I started dating, he has another issue. He stops texting me for a few days at a time. Then when he does, he tells me to pack my overnight bag and likes my baby oil massages. You are being used for the ass and the massages here. Why are you playing yourself? You are doing yourself a great disservice. You're playing yourself. You're playing yourself very bad. Miss Amelia, please stop. Amelia, I'm sorry. Please stop it. Stop this. Stop this nonsense. This guy's, you're massaging this guy, and come on now. You giving him some, man, massaging the brother, and he ain't even calling you or texting you? You said this guy stopped texting me for a few days at a time, which means you're not even at calls. You're not even getting calls, and you're spending nights over there and then not getting text for days at a time. You're not even getting phone calls. Like, come on, man. Like, this what I be talking about? And these guys who watch these other alpha channels and masculine channels and all of that, they know that all they got to do is treat a woman like that, and they get all the ass they want. And then women wonder why the standards are so low. You set the standards for the men you date. You do. If a man decides that your standards are too high, then he'll go waste someone else's time. If he decides that you're worth it, then he'll abide by your standards and meet you in the middle and give you quality. But you set the standards. So you've set the standard that all that guy has to do is text you like some ass delivery girl, and you're going to show up with baby oil and massage him and give him the type of love and nurturing and ass that he hadn't done anything, he hadn't invested anything to deserve. And if you are a casual dater, then that baby oil and sex is amazing. Massages and sex is a great combination, the greatest. But I can tell you, if you are again screwing for love and he's screwing for fun, you're doing yourself a great disservice. So please stop it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Love and respect. Thank you for all the super chats. I appreciate everybody who's watching my channel, who's watching my videos. Before I get off of here, I do want to ask everybody, it's 388 people on here. Please go watch one of the Kev Hick Talks live videos. Please. I'm trying to start that channel up. It's not monetized. I'm doing videos for free. So I'm trying to drop videos multiple times a week on there. And I want to make sure that people are there. I'm trying to build a following of men and women who need life advice on there. And so I'm just pinging the algorithm every day, but it's very difficult to start a new channel. And it normally takes like 6 months before you get $1 on a new YouTube channel. And even though I have like 6,000, almost 7,000 subscribers on there, they only care about your watch time hours. You need 4,000 watch time hours total before they give you $1. And so I'm at like, I haven't even reached like 2,000 yet. So it's going to be a long road, but I'm going to get my live channel off the ground. So if you got time, please go over there and watch one of my 3 to 5 minute videos on life, or watch one of my older videos that I did when I first started the channel for life advice. They're all very relevant to life, and they're all very helpful as my relationship videos. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I appreciate y'all for coming out, for watching. Follow me at kevhick24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later. And follow Kev Hick Talks Life. Go over there, Google it, YouTube it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate y'all.